Welcome to the Conjuring. The movie starts with a creepy ass doll looking at us. This is Edward, he's the Chad, and this is his wife Lorraine. She can see ghosts. So basically, these two girls got tricked by a ghost into letting it enter their doll, and you can imagine how that went. Pretty bad. Yeah, and I have one question like, how do you get tricked by a ghost? Like, what? They tell them that they're stupid, and it's scene cuts and it's revealed that this is a press conference and all of that was just a recording. We then see the main family that's gonna be tortured for the next hour and 30 minutes, which consists of dad, mom, kid 1, kid 2, kid 3, kid 4, kid 5. As they're entering their new house, the dog doesn't wanna go in, which is a huge red flag, but they still go in. And all I wanna ask is why? Why? Later that night, the kids are playing a game called Hide and Clap, in which the seeker can ask the hiders to clap for them 3 times, and then the seeker has to find the hiders through the sound of those claps. I don't know why I had to explain that. While playing the game, they break the fucking house. They just bought it. Dad checks it out and finds that it is a basement, and while coming upstairs, he puts the match down. Now, remember this match. Later that night, the dog is screaming at the house. Another red flag. The next morning, mom wakes up with a lot of bruises on her body. She asks dad what he did to her last night, and he's like, nah man, I ain't into that shit. Yeah right buddy. Yeah right. She also notices that all the clocks in the house have stopped at 3:07 o'clock. While working in the kitchen, they hear the screams of their youngest daughter, so they run towards her and ask her, what's the matter child, why are you screaming? Oh shit, the dog's dead. No! We then see Edward giving an interview to a journalist about his secret demonic thingy room, when he catches his daughter in the room and she's not supposed to be there, so he gives her back to her Georgianne. And Georgianne, let me tell you about Georgianne. Georgianne's a real one. She ain't never gonna leave you when you're in trouble. We then see dad, who hears a noise and then goes to investigate it and sees the door open on its own. Very clearly, fully open, but in the next scene, it's very little open. Stop with the inconsistencies, James Swan. Dad then investigates the door and figures that it was the wind coming from the window that opened the door. Yeah, right. Come on. He then hears the banging noise once more and goes upstairs to discover that it's his daughter who's sleepwalking, and then he uses a special technique to put her back to bed. The next morning, dad leaves work and all the kids go to school, and mom and kid 5 are alone at home when mom catches kid 5 talking to herself. I'm telling you, this gets crazy. Mom asks her who she's talking to, and Kid 5 gives her this toy and says that she's talking to a friend called Rory, and tells her that this toy is the way to meet her friend Rory. She tries but isn't able to find Rory, and Kid 5 basically says skill issue and asks her to play the game Hide and Clap with her. And she agrees, and the first few claps lead her into this room where the closet opens on its own, and this happens. She goes towards the closet and hears the breathing of a person. When Kid 5 comes from outside the room, she does not leave the house with her kid immediately, but stays inside the house like nothing happened. The next night, Kid 4 is sleeping peacefully in her bed when suddenly something pulls her leg. Initially thinking that it's her sister, she asks her sister to stop it, but the next time her leg is pulled more violently. She wakes up to see that her sister is sleeping, and so like any normal kid, she looks under the bed. Seriously, this kid. Seriously. Oh, don't follow.
Wait. Mi gente, oigan bien. Lingangu, guacha, lingangu.
She sees someone standing behind the door and starts crying. Her sister wakes up and sees her crying. She stands behind the door to assure her that there is no one standing there until this happens. Her parents, hearing the screams, wake up and go into the room where Kid 4 tells them that there was someone standing behind the door and that it told her it wants her family dead. Okay. You need to
Relax.
The next night, while dad is away at work, mom is folding clothes in her room when she hears the giggles of a little girl. Thinking it's one of her daughters, she goes to their rooms, but all of them are sleeping. While she's standing there, the pictures along the wall fall down and the giggles of a little girl can be heard. Now, instead of calling the police because of an obvious intruder in the house, she goes downstairs to investigate it. This woman is stupid. While she's downstairs, the basement door opens on its own and she obviously goes inside it, where she says this.
Who's ever down there? I'm gonna lock you in now!
Yeah, let's go. Oh shit. Well, that didn't work for you. did it. In the basement, the ball is thrown towards her saying, I want to play a game. Oh, she doesn't want to play it. Pop, the light is gone. Now remember that matchbox I told you to remember? This is when it comes in hand. She uses the matchbox as a source of light, but that girl didn't like the light. Upstairs, Kid 1 is waken up by the bangs of her sister on the closet, but not by the screams of her mother. She uses her father's technique to put her sister to sleep when this happens. She goes towards the closet to investigate it. Nothing's inside it, except the top of it. Upon returning home, Dad hears the screams and runs towards the house. He firstly saves Mom, then he saves Kid 1 and then asks,
God damn it, tell me what's going on here!
Just tell him what's going on, it's not that deep. We then see Edward and Lorraine giving a lecture in a university on the 3 stages of demonic activity: infestation, oppression, and possession. Now from what I can tell, the main family is currently facing oppression. Mom also watches the lecture, and after the lecture, she asks both of them to come to their house, and they agree. And upon entering their house, Lorraine gives a disgusting look to the kids because look at them. They then tell them about the things that have been happening to them, such as the banging noise, demonic activity; rotting smell, demonic activity; explosive diarrhea, wait, what? Nah man, just left the Taco Bell. They then go to the basement where Lorraine feels like, yeah, this place is quite fucked up. Edward then asks them the eternal question of why they haven't moved out, and they're like, we broke. And I mean I understand that. Hey, that's a good reason. Lorraine then asks Kid 5 about her imaginary friend called Rory, and she gives her the toy, and Lorraine, in her first try, finds the kid. Upon turning around, the kid is not there. So it was a skill issue. Lorraine then goes into the garden where she sees a woman hanging from a branch. I don't think that's appropriate decoration, guys. Okay, now listen closely. They then tell them that their house needs an exorcism, and for that exorcism they need it to be authorized by the church, and for the authorization they need to provide proof that there is actual demonic activity, and for the proof they have to investigate. Yes! After going home, Lorraine finds out quite a lot of things. She firstly discovers that the house was originally owned by a suspected witch called Bathsheba, who was caught sacrificing her 7-day-old child in front of the fireplace, and after getting caught, she went outside her house at 3 or 7 o'clock in the morning and hanged herself from the branch. And then, and cursed any person that owned this land after her. This woman lived there in the 30s, and that kid is Rory that Kid 5 is talking to. Now that after her kid was supposedly lost in the woods, the woman killed herself in the basement. Yes. And also multiple other people bought her house, but they also made the same fate as others. The next day they go to their house with Officer Brad and Drew, their friend, who handles all the technical stuff like cameras that can see ghosts, rings on doors, and UV lights. When the basement door opens on its own, Edward and Lorraine go inside with Officer Brad recording them. When Lorraine doesn't feel well downstairs, they go back up and the basement door closes on its own. Apparently this man doesn't believe in ghosts. They stay the night, and the next day Dad takes all the kids for ice cream, including Drew, and Officer Brad leaves as his shift is starting in an hour, and they tell Mom to rest for a bit while Edward and Lorraine take care of the house. While Lorraine is doing laundry, this happens. Lorraine sees a not-so-friendly woman in Mom's room, and she runs towards Mom's room while Mom is sleeping quite peacefully in her room, and suddenly marks start to appear on her body, and she is met with the sight of Bathsheba, who vomits blood in her mouth, obviously. When Lorraine finds her, she acts as if nothing happened, like a fucking 400-year-old corpse that didn't just vomit blood in her mouth. This woman seriously has mental issues. Later that night, we see Officer Brand, who sees a woman in a maid costume with both of her wrists cut, saying, "She made me do this." I don't think they have a maid, this family. Officer Brad is ambushed by that maid and screams for help for Edward and Lorraine when suddenly Kid 4 or 3, I don't know, starts sleepwalking, and they follow her into that fucking room with the closet Shit, this was bad. While they try to break inside, Drew hears the voice of a little boy inside there with Kid 3, who is possibly, I think, Rory. They go inside the room and Kid 3 is nowhere to be found, so they use the UV lights, and with the help of the UV lights, they find her behind the closet. They get her to safety, and Kid 5 drops some crazy lore that is the place where Rory hides when he is scared. Now Lorraine being Lorraine goes inside there to do her thing. Inside there, she asks for the toy of Kid 5, and before she is able to use this, the house breaks once more. This is a cheap ass house, I'm telling you that much. Now even though she fell from the top of her house, she picks up the toy to start her work once more. This woman is dedicated. Using the toy, she sees the woman that lived there in the 30s with her kid, Rory, and in the reflection of the toy, she sees the woman with a bloody knife and Rory in her arms, who is possibly unalive. And the woman is hurt, saying, "She made me do this." She turns around and there is no one there, but when she turns back around, the body of Bathsheba falls right in front of her and follows her, so she runs from it. But suddenly, Bathsheba holds her by the locket that I forgot to tell you before in the movie. Her daughter gave it to her. She escapes Bathsheba, but her locket is left downstairs. When she comes upstairs, she tells them that Bathsheba possesses the mother and kills the children. That is her way of cursing them, I think. After she tells them, all the crosses in the house start to move and fall down, and this girl in particular is flung around the room by Bathsheba because to hell with this girl, I guess. Lucky for them, Drew has recorded all of that. They leave the house for obvious reasons, and then suddenly Lorraine feels the need to stand right in front of the pond where she sees the body of her daughter, but fortunately it was an illusion. Now apparently, due to that locket, Bathsheba now knows of a certain loved one of Lorraine, and you bet she's gonna use that against Lorraine. We then see the same locket that Lorraine had in her daughter's bed. This kid's leg is also pulled quite violently, and now I think the connection of these two lockets has allowed Bathsheba to move between them somehow. Thinking it's her parents, she gets out of bed to find them, but instead she finds the demonic thingy room open with no Annabelle doll. Seeing that, she tries to go back upstairs, but the dark entity starts to come after her, so she runs into a different room. Finally, a smart move. But that room has Annabelle with Bathsheba. All of this happens just in time for Edward and Lorraine to come home and save her from a flying chair. Wow. She tells them that Annabelle was out of her cage, but Edward checks her and she's still there. But man, look at that creepy ass doll. Damn. The main family is staying at a motel. When Drew and Dad come back to the motel, the kids tell them that Mom suddenly left with Kid 4 and Kid 5 in her car without telling them. Possession has started. They call Edwin and Lorraine, and when they reach the house, they see Drew and Dad fighting Mom, who is trying to stab Kid 4. They separate them and try to take Mom out of the house, but Bathsheba will kill her if she goes outside the house. She is then flung back into the basement where they follow her, and she gives a kiss to Officer Brad. They tie her to a chair, and Edward decides that he's gonna perform the exorcism himself, even though he is not qualified. This man has balls of steel. He starts performing the exorcism, and oh my god, she's flying. Edward then asks her this.
Put her down! Carolyn!
That's bad. While all that is happening, Drew is trying to find Kid 5, who he has hidden somewhere around the house. He finds her under the kitchen floor and tells all the other guys where she is. And along them, Bathsheba also hears him, and she immediately goes to kill the Kid 5. When Bathsheba is almost about to kill Kid 5, Edward, Lorraine, and Dad bring her back with the power of friendship. Yeah! And then everyone lives happily ever after. Right? Right? Oh, come on! We then see Edward putting the toy of Kid 5 in his secret demonic thingy room, when suddenly, the moment Edward leaves the room, the toy starts to open up and work on its own. Thank you guys for watching the video till this point. If you liked the video, please comment on it, as it helps with the algorithm. If you want more videos like this, please subscribe and press the bell icon. That's it. Thank you.